Boom. And we are live with another episode of the Brown Water Banter podcast. My name is Jared Seymour.
My name is Joey Cates.
It is Joey Cates, man. And we got a good show for you. In the studio, we have Brandon, the executive director of the Maritime and Seafood Industry Museum. We're going to be talking about the museum that's down there in Biloxi. But, you know, the bigger picture is culture here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, man. It's something that Joey and I are very much in love with. They're very proud of. And we're going to do a deep dive into that. But before we jump into that conversation, we have to thank the people that keep the show rolling for us. Right out of the gate here is Dr. Robbie Williams over at Southern Magnolia Smiles. If you're looking for a great local dentist, you can look them up on the socials, Facebook and Instagram at Southern Magnolia Smiles. And when you're ready to book that consultation, give them a call, 228-215-1202. 2025 is the year to brush your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
If you need legal representation, Taylor & Cox Law Firm. This is Tyler right here in the photo, man. They specialize in felonies, misdemeanors, DUI, family law, divorce, child custody. And I always like to say it now that, you know, we got it brought up, Joey, is the BUI, man. If you're on the water and something happens, you need some representation, someone to defend you. Taylor & Cox Law Firm is the one. Give them a shout, 228-696-0111. Our buddy Kendrick right here, Forever Young Men and Women's Health. If you're trying to get active, you want to get off the couch, you want to start moving around again, you want to start lifting weights maybe. Their motto is they bring medicine, health, and exercise together to help men and women live their best lives. They got a lot of information on Facebook. They can do some lab work on you. They can draw some blood and see if you're vitamin deficient, hormone deficient. They can get you back optimized, feeling good, and back, like I say, whether it's just moving around and walking or it's like trying to go in there and smash 225 for 10 reps, huh, Joey? There you go. All right. Give them a call, 228-363-6623. And bringing up the rear here, Joey just sent this over to us. So give us a little backstory real quick.
Yeah, my good buddy Dewan over at Diablo Fire Department said they're looking for some recruits. So if you're interested in becoming a fireman, I know PERS system has been on the news lately in Mississippi, but if you need one, you can fill out application online on their website, or you can go to the station and grab one there. So
That's right. And what I was reading earlier, it's an entry-level firefighter position, so I'm going to assume no experience needed. However, you do need a high school diploma or GED. You got to pass a physical. You got to be able to read and write English legibly. Math skills, including addition, subtraction, multiplication, current driver's license, and able to lift up to 100 pounds and drag 165 pounds. So
go be a hero.
That's right. They're taking applications from the 25th, which was 2 days ago as we record this, all the way to September 16th, 2025. So go check them out. So there we go. All right. Well, Brandon, first off, thank you for stopping by this evening, man.
Thank you for having me.
Coming to the Brownwater Studios and chopping it up with us. Like I said on the intro, man, the culture here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast is something I'm extremely proud of. It's something Joey and I try to promote on the show every episode.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and just say that, every episode. But let's start with you. What's your backstory and how did you end up down there?
Grew up Diabloville. Went to Diablo High School.
We won't hold that against you.
That's way and I'm over here in Yellow Jacket.
I teach there.
That's right.
Well, it's right now all my kids go to Biloxi. So
okay, all right. We spread the wealth around.
That's right. That's right. Graduated from Diablo High School. Went to University of South Alabama. Got a degree in anthropology and a degree in history.
Okay.
Was kind of in school really for anthropology, and then realized, hey, I'm kind of really close to another degree as well. So I figured I might as well go ahead and get two.
Right.
Go ahead and knock that out.
Okay.
But all through high school, all through college, I worked as a deckhand at the Seafood Museum on the schooners.
Sweet.
Now you're speaking our language.
Right.
Yeah.
Started working down there when I was 15 years old. Was actually laying at home sleeping one day, and my dad was real involved with the museum. My dad, he's passed away in 2019, but he was a very well-known local historian, Edmund Boudreaux. He did a lot for the city of Biloxi. He was very involved with the museum. So I guess somewhere between 9th and 10th grade, I'm actually laying at home sleeping one morning and get a phone call from him. Says, hey, man, down here at the museum, they had a deckhand didn't show up for work. You interested in coming to work?
Absolutely.
Went down there, put in an application, started working that day, and 20 years later, I was still working there. So,
okay, sweet.
I actually worked there all through high school, all through college. At one point, I actually got my degrees, but I was still working there. I think my mom at one point was afraid I got my captain's license before I got my degrees.
There's nothing wrong with
I know
that.
a lot of people
Absolutely
do.
Yeah,
nothing
that's
wrong
nothing
with
wrong with that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I think at one point my mother was afraid I was not going to finish college. I
Right.
was just going to, got that, ran the boats as a captain for 2 years, wound up for 10 years, wound up being basically the fleet captain. And I was kind of over the pier and kind of any waterfront operations that we had. Left there.
You already got a compliment from Donnie Handler in the comments.
Oh,
Just to let you know.
Lord, like, you might want to censor it.
No, it was a true blue compliment. First class dude is what he said. So
Worked there till I was 35. My wife's family owned Sweatman Security.
okay.
They kind of made me an offer to come work over there. So it was more conducive for having small kids that worked at Sweatman Security for the last 15 years.
Okay.
And then here I saw Robin was retiring. That's always been kind of my end goal. My dream was to kind of be back at the museum.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody read the article on the website or at Facebook and stuff. That was always home for me. So I knew Robin would eventually have to retire.
Mhm.
So she finally decided she was going to retire, and I applied for the job. Went through up against, I think they said around 50 applicants.
Wow.
Oh wow,
A
yeah.
couple of different interviews, narrowed it down to 3 of us, one more round of interviews, and I got the call I've been waiting for. So
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's-
I
That's
appreciate
a good story. That's a really good story. I got to admit right off the bat here, I'm ashamed to admit this, but I've never been in the museum. And I really mean that to say when I'm ashamed.
You would not be
Yeah.
surprised at the people that say that.
Yeah.
I walked a lady through today. They're having a rehearsal dinner there. We do events at
Yeah.
the museum. We do them on the pier, but they're having a rehearsal dinner, I believe in November. She came by to do a walkthrough today, and same thing.
Yeah.
Born and raised, and she said, she's never set foot in the museum.
Now I've been down there. I ride my bike around there a lot, and my kids go to sea and sail camp. So
Yeah,
I've had the thing
yeah.
underneath, and I think I walked into the bathroom maybe one time before. But when I say that, I mean I've never been through the.
Well, y'all come
It's
up. I will
cool.
give y'all a personal tour. Like
Yeah,
it is amazing.
Yeah,
It's you just can't. You walk in, and it just everything about the building. It tells our story. It tells the story not of just Biloxi, of the coast.
Oh, I
From
now I
start to
have been
finish.
on your Facebook page
Yeah.
many times and looking at the photos of the exhibits, and
They got
I've had plans.
Pile of stuff.
Oh,
in
I'm
there.
just like, dude,
I
why?
got a whole daggone sailboat in there.
Oh,
yeah,
literally a whole-
multiple.
yeah.
We have a couple of them.
Yeah.
We actually just got a call from a guy that has one of the last, I believe, the last skiff that Bill Holland built. I'm gonna go look at it tomorrow morning.
Really?
And we're gonna look. Have to figure out where I got space to put that.
Right,
So,
right.
Add on somewhere.
So sticking with the culture part of everything, because there's a lot of stuff I want to get into, but like, so I always think about this, like people that are from here, like, parents, generations have been here for a while. You got that group of people, but then you also got people that have moved in, people moved
Transplants.
away from
Yeah.
like after Katrina, we lost a lot of people. We've had people come in, the casinos come around 92. That brought in a lot of people.
The military.
The military,
Yeah,
Keys are always,
Keys
that's right. And so I think that not everybody always realizes just kind of like the backstory of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. I'm sure you can speak to that. From what I, have read that I know, and from my grandparents and stuff, we used to be the seafood capital of the world, right?
Yep.
We were kind of like New Orleans's vacation home, getaway
That's kind
playground.
of how Biloxi got started.
Right. Can you expand on that?
Well, it was basically like a sleepy, like a little vacation town.
Right,
Like they
right.
would, believe it or not, they would leave New Orleans
Yes.
to get away from the mosquitoes.
Right.
Okay.
They would come over
Now,
here.
that
to get away
doesn't sound like a great plan.
I don't know how that
Right.
seemed like a good
Yeah,
idea,
yeah,
but
right.
those kind
I
of.
could see maybe the traffic even back then in New Orleans
Right.
being bad.
Yeah,
Come over here
right.
from traffic, but
So they started coming over here, and we always tell people, they always talk about America being, a melting pot. Like
Mhm.
to me, the coast is a gumbo pot.
Right.
Everybody,
Yeah.
and like you said, born and raised, transplants. You marry somebody, come down here. The military, you want to retire in here. Then
Right.
the second generation born here. There's just so many diverse groups that
Uh-huh.
throw everything into it. But that's what makes our flavor. I mean,
We always talk about it, and we talk about Destin and Orange Beach and all that stuff, and we always try to shush people because Mississippi has everything there besides
Yes.
the water, but we don't want a whole lot of people to.
No.
we don't want all that to move in.
And that's
Yeah.
what people always talk about. The water's dirty and this and that, but it's not. It's because of the river. Because of the islands
right.
that traps all that silt and sediment
Yeah.
in there. but that's what makes our seafood so good.
That's right.
Yeah, it's unique to us. Like we named the show after.
Yes.
It's like we love it. We're not
Yes.
ashamed of it.
No.
It's part of us.
It is.
And once you go swimming in Back Bay with white underwear,
That's
and
right.
you come up out of there and there's solid brown, you
Yeah,
earned your
yeah,
stripes.
yeah.
You're one of us.
Yeah, you earned your stripes.
And all of us that did that grew up doing that. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about COVID.
No,
There's a lot.
absolutely not.
I caught more things in there than I did.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm old enough to remember not a lot like perfectly, but I do remember when the east end of Biloxi was seafood factories and still had the smell when you dropped in.
Absolutely.
There were no casinos, hotels.
Well, where
not
the
like
palace,
that, like
where
it's
the
now.
where the palace is right now, there was I think Sea Products was,
Mhm.
and I worked there right before I worked at the museum. So, and I want to, I'm probably the last generation to work in the seafood factories, you know,
Mhm.
except for and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like as far as they lined Back Bay at one point. You know, like you said, in the '60s, Biloxi, there was more seafood canned and shipped out of Biloxi than anywhere else in the world.
Yes.
I believe it.
Yes, and it was nothing but oyster shells. Down
Yeah,
there.
Right,
you
the
get
whole-
to see
right,
pictures of them
mountains.
standing
Yeah.
on mountains of oyster shells.
Yeah, all this
You
stuff.
go anywhere on the point right now and try to dig a hole,
Oh.
and it's not going to happen.
100%, 100%.
Got the best driveways in the world.
That's right.
there.
Yeah.
Slice your tires up, but you know it's not going to wash away.
Yeah, good luck getting through that stuff
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I just it's changed so much over the years, and I'm proud of all of it, all of our stories.
Absolutely.
I just, I always wonder like how many people actually know that, can remember that. It's transplants, especially.
And that's one of the biggest purposes for the museum is to keep that alive.
Mhm.
To keep my kids would know that,
right.
You know, like I want them to know. You know, my granddaddy was actually born in one of the camps. You know, like it was in one of the fish camps owned by the factories. You know, like,
Really?
so, it was just that was. I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and I want to keep that alive. You know, in our Blessing of the Fleet exhibit, there's a picture on the wall of the very first Blessing of the Fleet in Biloxi, and two of the altar boys. One is my granddaddy.
No way.
Sweet.
His brother is with one of the other altar boys, and in the background right behind him is my great grandmother. And I love that picture. Like
Yeah.
it's
Family ties.
yes. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just that it's all personal. Everything is personal.
Mhm.
100%. Speaking of museum, when did it start? When did all this get around?
1986 is when the museum actually kind of got the birth of it.
Okay.
Gerald Blessey was the mayor at the time. Him and some others kind of came up with the idea.
Right.
They started the museums, and the schooner project, I believe, was started at the same time. They started raising money to build the two schooners. And whoever donated the most money got to name the boats. So People's Bank actually donated the most for the Glenn L. Sweatman. They named it after Glenn L. Sweatman, who was a former president of the bank.
Right.
The museum kind of ran out of money. You know, money's always a struggle.
Right.
And still, especially now, you know, with all the budget cuts and all that, you know, money is grants, programs have been cut big time. So, but they kind of ran out of money, finished the Sweatman first. It was launched in 1989. The Seacool, the Seacool family, George Seacool, his family, they donated the most money to build that boat. It was launched in 1994. And it was named after Mr. George, who anybody who ever played football at Perk knows who George Seacool is.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Coach Seacool.
Right.
He used to go sailing with us all the time on the boat, but it was named after his daddy, Mr. Mike Seacool,
Okay.
who you know, People's Bank named it for Glenn L. Sweatman. He was in the Depression in the 30s. He was real big, helping a lot of fishermen get through.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they kind of went with him. And then the Seacool family, of course, you know, involved in Seacool.
So those boats were built at the time frame you just said.
Yes, launched in 1989 and 1994
as a heritage piece.
as replicas of
Okay.
the original oyster schooners.
Yeah.
That were,
And these are the ones that sit today in front of the yacht club.
they are actually at the Schooner Pier Complex, which is owned by the museum.
Okay.
That they sit at our pier.
At y'all's pier. Okay.
And they are actually replicas of Biloxi oyster schooners. That is the type of boat that they are.
Mhm.
And they were kind of designed from skipjacks from up in Maryland.
Right.
When the people first started kind of harvesting the seafood down here, it was actually seasonal work from people from Maryland would come down and actually started that. So if you look at a skipjack in Maryland and the Biloxi schooners, they're very similar in design. It's
Yeah.
because those people came down, built boats down here to harvest seafood down here, and then we eventually took off and
I'm
became
assuming-
bigger than Maryland.
Were they like this? They had the skill The labor,
They had
is that
this-
what that was?
They did, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And both of those boats are still running at these
Both
days?
of we charter them out. We will go 24/7. We'll go.
Yeah, y'all do sunset cruises.
We do sunset cruises. We'll do island trips. We do full day charters out to Horn, or can't really do ship because the Scremettas have the rights for out there. But we can take people out to Horn. We can go. We've dropped people off camping, drop them off, come back, pick them up a couple of days later.
Right.
Wow.
Or we go out there, boat sits for a few hours while they go on the beach, have theirself a good day, and we load them back up.
I've seen a lot of the evening stuff y'all post. Other people post about. It looks like a
we've had
good
graduation
time.
parties,
dinner cruises,
yeah.
weddings, anything you can think of, we'll do out there.
Sweet.
Okay.
And I guess all that's on your website. How to sign
All that
up
is
for
on our website. Yep,
Yeah.
maritimemuseum.org.
Cool.
Okay, and I dropped the Facebook link to the Facebook page in the comments already. So, but go ahead.
Was there ever another? Was the spot that the museum's in? Was that the original?
That
spot?
is the original spot. The original museum was in an old Coast Guard barracks that was right there on the point.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
a lot
I've
of
seen
people-
photos. I never.
And that's, going back to the, growing up, there was I don't know if y'all remember, there was a swimming pool there. That's where I learned how to swim.
Okay.
On the point right there?
On the museum grounds.
Okay.
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
It was an old Coast Guard barracks. They converted it, used it as the museum until Katrina. Katrina destroyed that.
Right.
Was kind of up in the air where we always knew Robin was adamant. The museum was going to live through it. We were going to survive. It was going to be rebuilt. She fought. Now it was kind of back and forth on where exactly it was going to be rebuilt, but it wound up being rebuilt exactly where it was before.
Yeah.
So,
And when you mentioned Miss Robin, she's the former.
she is. She served for 37 years as the executive director. So
Dang.
Wait.
I got some big shoes.
Yeah.
She's a little woman, but I got some big shoes to fill.
You mentioned earlier, it's like she's still there with y'all. Like,
It's
we're
like a little overlap
who
right
picks
now.
up the phone now?
That's right,
You
that's
give
right.
her like, all right, go ahead.
So-
you heard it.
We're kind of co-directing at the moment. So
Yeah. Is she running you through the ropes? Like, hey, this
She
what you
is,
do here, this what you do that.
thankfully.
Don't make this one mad. Make sure you keep this.
Well, and as things pop in her head, she'll shoot me an email. Like today, I had a few of them. Like, oh, when this happens, you need to call so and so.
Right,
When this
right.
happens, which is great.
Now through that interview process, is there like a quiz section? Is there like a how much history of Biloxi do you know type of thing? I know you got the heritage. You worked here for a while, but what do you know?
Yeah.
There was not, but I do believe that played a lot into it. I think just being hometown was,
it would
huge.
It would be a little weird
Yeah,
if
you gotta
you weren't,
shade
right?
to it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, you gotta have skin in the game.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
I think that definitely helped. So,
Okay. All right. So what's it been like? How long have you been there? You said.
I started August 11th.
Okay.
It was my first day back. So
Oh wow. Okay. So
So
not long.
3 weeks
Brand
in,
or
right?
new.
Yeah.
Brand or new.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
give me the 3-week rundown. Has it been what you thought? More than what you thought? Like, oh wow, this is crazy. What's it been?
A little
like?
bit of both.
Okay.
Kind of like I said, I worked there for 20 years, so
Right,
I
like,
kind
so
of
you
knew the
kinda know,
operation. I knew everybody there, but
Now you're the guy.
yes, a lot of pressure. Like
now the
kinda
bills are in
Yeah,
your name.
yeah.
a little bit of
You're the
shit.
guy.
What have I done?
Yeah.
But no,
Call
it's-
Brandon. I don't know. Call Brandon.
That's right. That's right. So the first week was great because it was still I could kind of be going, hey, what are we doing here?
Right, right.
Second week,
I'm new. I'm still new.
that's right.
I'm still new.
Second week is a little bit of like you need to take this now. Like and now, week 3, I'm starting to take a lot more. So
Okay. All right. So yeah, this is very new.
that's
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to the Katrina days because how much did the museum lose in Katrina?
Everything.
So everything that was in there before was
Well,
gone.
I will
point,
say
right?
it was.
Like, was there any backup pictures? Was there film
all right.
somewhere else?
I'm thinking building. You're okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about like all the stuff that was in the building.
which would make sense.
Well, it was basically blasted everywhere.
Right.
Now we have found a lot the Ship Island lens, the Fresnel lens that's inside the museum right now. We actually found around the old museum. It was kind of shaped like an E, and there was crawl spaces
right.
under some of the sidewalks at the old museum.
Mhm.
When those actually collapsed, all those pieces of that lens actually wound up getting trapped in there, and we found every piece of that lens.
Really?
But digging through the mud, I mean, we spent probably 6 months. I think we borrowed from Kevin Weaver over in Diablo. We borrowed a Bobcat,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
we
yeah.
wound up just
Yeah.
picking through the rubble.
Yeah. Kevin built this.
Did he?
Yeah.
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 There you go.
Yeah.
Little shout out for Kevin.
Yeah.
there you go, Kevin.
Did a great job. Yeah.
But we literally bit by bit brick by brick, went through every bit of it, and we found, God, tons and tons of stuff. It's just, but it was all scattered everywhere. You know, all the trees from Deer Island, basically, they were like missiles coming across. There were literally entire pine trees with the root systems and everything were mixed up in the building and it collapsed. And we have a shrimp peeling machine that's on the second floor at the museum right now, and part of the roof was actually sitting on that. It was actually supporting some of that building as it collapsed. I mean, it was crazy.
Could you imagine sitting in, like, if you're interviewing against him, he's describing all the stuff when they cleaned up from Katrina, and you're like, I mean, I went to school for
that's right.
Yeah, it's like,
that's right.
I'm out of here.
But it's crazy, and people don't understand this unless they've lived through a hurricane. Like, the whole house or the whole building washed away, but my grandma's Pyrex pan was sitting untouched on the slab.
We had, like, y'all remember where Famous Joe's was?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, we do.
One of our skiffs,
once or twice.
One of our skiffs wound up like on top of the rubble, on top of Famous Joe's.
Yeah.
And somebody called us like, "Hey, man, I think that's y'all's skiff." And they're like,
"Come down there and check it out."
I drove my Jeep down there, and that shit, I didn't have a trailer at the time,
right?
So I literally flipped it over and just hooked it to my winch, just backed up and drug it all the way back to the museum because that was the only way to get it.
And it was probably a lot of mud too, right?
Yeah, it
like,
was. So it didn't get really scraped up.
Yeah.
So, but there was, as people found things, and that's what's so great. Another about the culture of the coast, you know, as people found things, I can remember digging through, looking through for stuff from the museum, and finding something. Go like, oh, I know this is so and so's that lived right here in the corner.
Yeah,
you just go and set it on their sidewalk in front of their house. And that's what everybody did. You know, as you find something, you know, it's not yours, but you know where it went, and you brought it back.
Well, I've talked about it on the show a couple of times, man. I mean, community really comes out in the middle of those hurricanes, like people you may not talk to on a regular basis. You know, it's been a while since we've had one like that, but like we've talked about it. You start emptying out your freezer, cooking all the fish you got in there or whatever you got. Hey, y'all hungry? Y'all need anything?
Right.
You know, people come together around here, and that's
right.
Too.
And that was our first taste of that major.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can remember me and my brothers, my parents' house was still there, but it was completely, totally flooded. Right. I mean, up to the peak of the roof, everything was flooded.
Full of mud.
Yeah. And I can remember going over there and my dad saying, you know, we got to get the shrimp out of the freezer. We got to get the shrimp out. And we're, you know, me and my brothers are like, Dad, you know, like
the house, dude.
What the hell you worried about the shrimp for? You know, like, and we were watching him and he's trying to climb over this stuff. And he finally stopped and he looked at us. He said, look, I'm not crazy.
Right.
He said, one of the biggest things we messed up after Camille, we didn't get rid of all that shrimp. And once it goes bad and starts stinking, and we're like, all right, we get you. Yeah, we got you. Let's go on with it. So,
and at least you get to eat good for a day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I tell this story all the time, but during Katrina, we went down to my grandpa's, who was on the bay, house going 100%. First thing we do is pull the freezer, shrimp, crabs, soft-shell crabs, all
fire
that
up the grill, and let's go.
My mom's in there rearranging it because she doesn't think my grandpa knows what he's doing. Pulls out a bread loaf, $1,000 worth of cash sitting in a bread loaf that he forgot about.
That was still in the rubble, though?
No. When we took the freezer before Katrina, brought it to our house, plugged it in. My mom's going through the freezer thinking about what we're going to cook first.
Gotcha.
Pulls out a bread loaf. There's $1,000 cash.
So he had the wherewithal to go ahead and move a freezer before Katrina?
That's all we did.
Was a freezer?
He knew 100% the house was going to be gone. He said, whatever you do, take the freezer.
That's right.
But he didn't know the $1,000 was in there. He forgot about that a long time ago.
Right. Yeah.
I say good on her for admitting that. You know, like, there's some bread in there. I don't know about anything else.
I threw it out.
It makes me wonder, you know, that older generation, they used to store stuff everywhere. Walls, floors.
They still do.
Right, I know.
Right.
My mother-in-law, you pick up a book and $100 will fall out.
Imagine how much stuff was lost that people didn't even know was lost during a storm like that. You know what I'm saying?
There's no doubt. My dad was in his house was in Porto Bay. And when we went that next morning, or once the winds died down enough to where you could drive, we went over to his house. We pulled up, and I'll never forget him looking at me. And he goes, and I'm like, man, Dad, your house, it looked like it just collapsed, right? And he's looking at it, and he goes, that ain't the pitch of my roof. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Somebody else's.
His neighbors across the street floated over. His house had already been gone, I'm sure. Yeah. And it's in that roof sat right on top of his slab. And he was like, that is not my house right there.
The neighborhood where Brandy and Travis Page lived. Yeah. You know, it was gone. Like my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
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 My brother-in-law and them, they were a week from moving into their house
Mhm.
in that neighborhood, and it was just clean.
Yep.
It was just, but what was crazy, I remember their neighbor's dog. I think it might have been Travis's dog, was sitting on the slab. He had been in the house, but got out but was sitting on the slab. He knew that was home.
Yeah.
Probably that old stinking
sitting there
lab they used to have, black lab.
Yeah.
We took him with us. We texted them, said, "Hey, we found a dog. He's good." He hung with us for a few days until we finally get him back. So
I took my oldest is 16, and I took him. It's been a few months back. We went riding around. We were off for a week during the summer, and going down like all the way down to James's old house and into Disney down there, and
by the old golf course,
all through Porto Bay. And I'm just showing him like, this is where I used to hang out when I was in high school and all this other stuff. And I'm like, showing him and my youngest too. I'm like, you see that those steps right there? Like that was a house.
Yes.
I was like, Katrina took it all away. And it's crazy how many there still are.
Yes.
Slabs, just sitting.
Oh yeah. Drive down the beach. We actually had today, we had a woman from Ocean Springs bring us a banner that I believe it was Gulf Park Elementary over in Ocean Springs, or Oak Park maybe.
Yeah. Oak Park. Yeah.
The kids after Katrina kind of made this banner, drew this stuff on like what they were feeling after Katrina.
Right.
Well, it's toured all over the country. Like they made it right after Katrina.
Okay.
We rolled it out, and we want to find like all the kids that did this, like maybe do like a Facebook blast and say, hey, if you're one of these kids, we're going to hang it up for the anniversary of Katrina. We're going to hang it up in the wall.
You know what's silly is that just hit me as we're talking about this, and I look down.
20
years is in 2 days.
Yes.
In 2 days.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't even think about that all day today.
That's the hashtag K20 that you see going around all over the place. What's like the story? The dude who was on Horn Island the other day and found that lady's book card or license.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, from Katrina. I mean, it washed up, digging it in the sand and found somebody's that washed
if you remember,
up.
there were roofs out there. It was a while before you could go anywhere, safely. Yeah. After Katrina,
I remember listening to, because obviously all the televisions went out. We were listening to it on like some kind of radio thing that we had with a black and white TV with an antenna, and they were saying all kind of stuff like people are on their rooftops in Porto Bay, and I'm like, they must have said the neighborhood wrong,
right?
Like you look back now and you're like, that's silly, but on their rooftops,
right?
Like no way. Then you're hearing about like because again, you young whippersnappers out there, no Facebook, no cell phones, but not like of cell phones. It's completely different.
You just play Snake.
Yeah. You might get sent a text, like you said text. I'm like, I guess we could.
And there were some people you could get through to, and other people you couldn't.
Mine didn't work.
Right. But what I'm saying is too is like they're like the Grand Casino is on the north side of 90. Turn around, like no way that's possible. Nowadays it would be instant. You'd see it. It'd be all over. You'd know. But like and then the picture would roll out a few days later, and you're like, holy.
The craziest part to me was the casinos on the north side.
Yeah.
But the power lines were still intact. So it means they went over
it.
And came down.
I didn't really fathom any of that until I saw water coming up my yard in Cedar Grove, which is a long way.
That's my parents' house. My parents, we grew up on Bienville, right there off Lemoyne, right by the old school.
Yeah.
We're the ninth house on the right. I mean, closest water, mile and a half. And they went, except for the ditch right there.
That little ditch that runs behind Leathorn's house.
And here's the thing, too, because you said, like, long way from the water. Really, if you look at it from an aerial view, you're really not that far because you don't realize how far that bayou comes back in there behind Tunica, where my grandpa used to live. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of things, like, and again, Porto Bay saying there's nowhere there on the freaking bayou is right there. It's
the
right
tide
there.
was right. The wind was right.
Yeah.
Just everything lined up.
Yeah.
And you brought up Biloxi High School because I think last night they had the showing of the Katrina something there. It was some kind of like the thing on Netflix, and I read the reviews on it, and it's like 60% New Orleans.
Oh yeah, that's why
30%
I knew that was going to be the
Biloxi,
case. And
always.
New Orleans went through it, but
and I always like to say New Orleans was a people disaster.
Right.
Yeah.
Here was the rest of the coast really was a natural disaster. But New Orleans was more of a people.
Yeah. No, it was bad over there for sure. But you're right. Like I was like, they're not going to cover them. With the landmass between.
That's right.
Remember that? It's like they always kind of.
I'm sure you have a lot of that in the museum, right?
The Katrina, yes, we have an entire hurricane exhibit. We have a film on Katrina, but we have the 47 hurricane. We have Camille. We have Elena. Everything. Just because everybody wants to you have to benchmark, of course, Katrina, but there's so many before, up until Katrina, it was Camille.
Well, I was gonna say,
we always heard about Camille,
like it's wind wise, it's still one of the top dogs.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
And even with Katrina, I think Camille killed people in Katrina because they thought, this house made it through Camille.
Correct.
Everything's fine.
100%.
Correct. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Correct.
Didn't work.
Yeah. That's a good transition here. I was going to ask if you could walk us through some of the exhibits outside. When you come through the doors, what are some of the big ones you can hit?
Walk right through the door, and there's the lighthouse lens sitting right in front of you. We have some Native American pottery right there. We have French colonial.
That's going back to the beginning,
right?
That's where the name comes from.
Yes. We have some stuff from the USS Biloxi, who was a light cruiser during World War II. Served in the Pacific. Never lost a man on the USS Biloxi. Really, we have a couple of models. We have the ship's bell from the Biloxi.
Okay,
and that's another thing. It was in the rubble, but we had to dig it out.
That was at the old.
That was at the old museum. Yeah, and there's still a lot of the stuff we found. It was just scattered. It was everywhere.
I'm sure y'all did lose a lot of stuff though, right? Like,
there's stuff we never found. Yes. Okay. Yeah, there is stuff.
Anything sticks out in your mind from having been there?
Trying to think.
Yeah.
A lot of the boat building tools and stuff like that, caulk and mallets, stuff like that.
The old wood boat, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Go upstairs. We have a lot of the Nydia, which was donated by the Pringle family. It was over at Tulane for a while. We wound up getting it. It's full sail. When you drive across the bridge, especially at night, lights
see it. Yeah,
lights are underneath it, underlit, and you can see the sail. It's beautiful. I love it. We have a fish class boat sitting there. We have a cat boat in there. Some Biloxi skiffs. The style. We have the hurricane exhibits. We have the Vietnamese narrative, which was kind of a temporary exhibit, but we're making that a permanent exhibit.
Yeah,
that they've become another crucial part of that gumbo on the coast.
100%.
We were actually looking at some panels today about where we're going to put them, because in October we have what is his name, Jason Pittman, local artist. We're going to have an art exhibit with his stuff. So we're going to move the Vietnamese narratives, make it a permanent space, and in the temporary space, that Jason Pittman, the art exhibit, will go in.
Okay. Yeah. We were talking before we went live. We had Emma and the Gulf Coast Vietnamese narratives. I went to school with Emma. We had them on the show, and what a great story. What a great
wonderful
thing to add to the museum. And like you said, they've just added so much to the gumbo.
Right. Absolutely.
It's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have the seafood industry without them. I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
They came in, and most of them are still in it today.
Yeah. Well, kind of though, what's crazy is because you're picking up from a specific point, but it goes back even further than when they were here, and she talked about that of the Slavic people that came in and stuff like that. And I know that's one of the photos that sticks out in my mind that I saw on your Facebook page is like the child labor that they used to utilize here in the 20s and stuff like that, right?
We need to bring that back.
I look at my kid. Yeah, like,
we
you
have
take out the trash
in our factory part or exhibit, the cannery stuff. We have pictures of those kids standing on buckets, shucking oysters, or picking shrimp. My granddaddy worked there. He said the whistle would go off in the morning. They would go to work for a little while, get their little shrimp nickels, go to school.
Yeah.
And
then after school, they'd go back, work till dark, and then they'd go home.
That was it.
No
iPad.
No.
And what's crazy is, because I have these, my great way down the line, E.C. Julian owned a packing factory. They had their own money.
Yes.
So everybody had their own currency. So that's
how you got paid.
Yeah. This would be one E.C. Julian packing coin.
And we have some of those shrimp nickels in the museum.
Yeah.
We have them in a display case.
Problem is that was kind of a scam.
That's right.
Well,
Kind of what sucks.
And they lived in the factory houses, and they lived in
right. And you bought your groceries and all your stuff from me, and I made a profit on that. It's kind of shitty, but it's right. Yeah,
unless you owned it.
That's right. That whole company store thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. That was real life.
Literally, it was. Yes.
Yeah, and back then they didn't have Walmarts either, so it was like,
Yeah,
hey,
where
we'll
else would they
provide
gonna
you the
go?
store. Yeah, you're gonna make money off that
Yep,
too.
they
so,
said when the boats came in, those steam whistles blew, and we have some of the steam whistles in the museum as well. So it's just, and every factory had their own whistle, had their own sound, so you knew if you worked here, this whistle blew.
oh wow,
Go to work.
that's
you know,
crazy.
so
Yeah, you said y'all have a shrimp peeling machine.
yes, we have,
I read the story probably off your website, if I had to guess, about how that was invented. Ain't that wild?
When he was a kid.
Yeah, but it was help me out here because I don't want to butcher this. What family did he work for?
It was Le Pere.
Okay.
I might be saying it wrong. It's Le Pere.
Yeah.
It was a factory. But as a kid, he kind of had this dream about this machine.
He was tired of picking shrimp.
Yes,
correct. Well,
yes.
He's got to think there's got to be something different.
Efficiency and automation,
Right.
Yeah, and didn't the family, the business, funded him for years?
Yes,
until he got that right.
And they got it. They patented it, and we have one of the machines in the museum, and it really revolutionized the industry.
100% it did. Yeah, I thought that was a
Get
great
you some of that water.
It'll sort it by size. It peels it. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, it was a really good story.
Could you imagine getting any of our kids to do that?
No.
Could you
I can't
imagine?
get my kids to take the trash
That's
out.
what I'm saying. Could you imagine us ringing a bell and saying, "All right, you got to shuck all these oysters before you can go home, and guess what? We're going to pay you a nickel."
A nickel.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that would not go over well.
No, the whole generation would be dead.
Yeah.
My kids look at me, hey, Dad, here's $50 just to leave me alone.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I got it from Mom.
That's right.
Just take it. It doesn't matter.
Grandma came by. Yeah.
For
Don't
sure.
know how good they got it.
Yeah.
Nope. Not at all.
We had it too, but it wasn't as good as they had.
Yeah. Do y'all? You've mentioned like the artists, local artists coming in there and stuff like that.
We do kind of seasonal exhibits, stuff like that. We like to do I'd like to do some kind of tattoo expo, like something
cool.
get there. With our drawdown coming up, one of our silent auction items is actually like a gift certificate for a tattoo artist.
Okay.
So, I'd like to get a lot into that. I'd like to get into some of the tribal art stuff. Like that would be really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do y'all host a lot of events there? Talk to us about that.
We will. I would like to get it out there more.
Okay.
We have space available for meeting rooms.
Okay.
We can set up for rehearsal dinners, for weddings, for class reunions, for whatever you can think of.
Yeah.
We have space for.
That room in the back's big.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
very big size, and we can set that up. Like I said, I think DMR had a safe serve class there the other day. There was 50, 60 people in there for that. We can fit. We have 19,000 square feet.
Yeah. What do y'all put on a lot of events? I guess is what I'm saying. Like outside of the exhibits, right? Like where you host a this or a that.
We have the art exhibit coming up. We have our Christmas open house is November 22nd. We'll have that. It's free admission when stuff comes in. September 20th, we have our biggest fundraiser of the year coming up, our drawdown. It's a $10,000 drawdown. Tickets are $100 a piece, gets in 2 people, seafood buffet, all you can drink, open bar, entertainment.
Yeah, the 20th.
We'll be there. When is it?
The
Get y'all
20th.
the 20th.
What 20th?
September 20th.
Okay.
So anybody out there listening, you want to buy tickets, maritimemuseum.org. You can buy them online or give me a call.
Okay, that's a Saturday too. So
yeah, Saturday night.
I think the last time I was there, it was the Hall of Fame induction.
That's on my list here to talk about as well. October 1st is our deadline for the Heritage Hall of Fame. The Heritage Hall of Fame, you can donate, talking about going back to like your grandfathers and all that. You can donate tradesmen, fishermen, captains, boat names. If you got like a boat in your family that, a shrimp boat that went back 100 years, you could put that name up for the Heritage Hall of Fame.
You like nominate these people.
Nominate. You said donate. You said donate.
Yeah,
Nominate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, nominate. Okay.
And that is also on our website too, maritimemuseum.org. You can go nominate persons, captains, tradesmen, boats, fishermen, anybody in the industry, any kind of tie to the industry. You can put their name up to be nominated.
Yeah. And I'm guessing there's a criteria for what they have to meet.
And it's all right there on the website. It'll tell you kind of what you meet. And it's pretty fluid, because there's like Mr. Sweatman, like he was never a fisherman, but there wouldn't have been some of the fishermen in the third without Glenn Sweatman, so people like him, I think they can be nominated as well. So
Yeah, that's kind of like I talk about with like Jay Trossett and all.
Oh yeah, Mr. J's in there. Oh yeah,
all of them old guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Kenny and all them. And it's if somebody doesn't tell this story, who is? You know what I'm saying?
One of the projects I want to get going pretty quick when I get rolling is an oral history, because we're losing that.
Yeah,
and just sitting down. One of the greatest things. My dad passed away in 2019, but he did an oral history with USM. And I can go on the website.
It's kind of like what your grandpa did.
Oh yeah, I got to get that too. By the way,
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I have a bad day, I can just go to that website and click play. I can listen to my dad.
Where's it at?
Story.
Where's it at?
It's on one of USM's archives.
Okay, same one. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was looking
yeah.
over here. I didn't hear what you said. My great grandfather was born in 1890. French was his first language, and he lived, you know where the D'Iberville Brittany boat launch is?
Mhm.
That was his property.
Okay.
So my family sold that to the county, and then they put the boat launch in there.
Okay.
All he did was lived off of selling oysters and off the bay. That's what he did. But they interviewed him in 1970 something. I forget the year. And he thick French accent, Cajun French accent.
Half coon accent.
And he described, though, what I remember, because it's been years now since I listened to it. But what he described is all the families that were in the area. And going back, I mentioned a minute ago, Porto Bay.
Yep.
They called it Bayou Porto.
Right.
And it was named after a family. You know, and he knew all the families, the Gauchers and all that, when they came, what they did. It's so cool, man.
It's
I want to
amazing.
get that back so I can listen to it.
And I can log into that and I can listen to my daddy tell a story. You know?
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
You know, and part of the Heritage Hall of Fame, we have some touch screens in our library, and you can go in there and you can scroll down the list, and Mr. J, you click on it and it tells you about him, why he's in there.
Yeah.
You can go to the boat section and pick, the Mary Margaret, and what made the Mary Margaret? Why is it in this? It's amazing.
Do y'all ever do? I don't know the right word, not commission or whatever, but do people donate family heirlooms or items and says you can have it for X amount of time, but I want it back?
Yeah, people will put stuff on loan like that.
Okay.
There are some items people donate and they say do what you want with them.
Mm-hmm.
There's some say I'll give it to you, but it has to be put on display.
Okay.
There are some criteria that people will put on some things, and we look at it, and honestly, if it's something that we can't really use, we'll look at it and we'll tell them he really can't. But like yesterday, I had a guy walk in just out of nowhere, had an old Penn Senator, a 14-aught. I've never seen a 14-aught. Mm-hmm. I've seen a 10. I've never seen a 14.
Like a 35-pound dumbbell.
Those things huge. and it weighed more. It
weighed 50 pounds.
Yeah. Had the old braided line on it.
He signed the paperwork. I walked straight upstairs, went and showed it to Robin, like, hey, look what this guy, and I went and put it right in the exhibit. So, I mean, it's already out on display.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. I got a other side of the family, great-grandfather, picture of him, and we don't know the time frame, but it was like, we're guessing maybe the 50s, and he's dealing craps in one of the back rooms.
See that?
And
the other side of the coast.
The other side.
That's right.
That other side of my family, the Ace Invaders, they were on that side.
Right.
So.
And look, I know some people that are from that line of work.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I'm like, look, you need to tell the story. And they're like, oh, no. I'm like,
that's a little harder story to tell.
It's a little hard story to tell. Yeah.
I'll write it. You tell. There are no books about it. There's nothing out there about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be a ghostwriter. You just talk and I'll write it down. I'll change names. The story needs to be told before those guys are all gone too. Because that's, like it or not, that's a part of the history of the coast.
100%. They made a lot of it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have them casinos out there.
Right.
Yeah. It wasn't like they just showed up corporate and it wasn't already here.
Right. I don't think I could put that in the museum.
Right.
But, Do you have a lot of that where people come in and want to tell a story and somebody writes it down, jots it down?
We have Mr. Ronald Baker just came in last week, and we actually recorded him. He's one of the bakers.
We had Alvin on.
We had Alvin on.
All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Ronald talking about oystering, and we actually recorded him and put a little voice box on a mannequin on the third floor, and it's motion activated. So when you walk by,
it just starts.
Mr. Ronald starts telling. And so and it was funny for a little while. We had our door propped open to the offices, and I just hear Mr. Ronald start talking, as I'm doing stuff, so
30 times a day.
Yes.
You can pretty much recite his story.
I've already learned how to walk around where not to trigger it.
What's the process like on building out an exhibit? Who does that? Like the artists, because museums. I've seen pictures. I've been there. They're very artistic. They're done in really cool ways. Who does that in there?
It's kind of like all hands on deck.
Really?
We our outreach coordinator right now, she's amazing. She does a lot of that stuff. Somebody will come up with the idea. She'll kind of take it and roll with it.
Okay.
Like she was actually working on some of the panels today from moving the Vietnamese exhibit.
Okay.
She's amazing. So like a lot of us, we all wear different hats down there. It's like, what am I doing right now?
Yeah.
Let me do this.
Yeah.
Let me go over here and I'm going to be a curator for a while. I still have my captain's license. I still keep it current.
Just in case.
Yeah,
I
don't let
go
it go.
running trips,
That's right.
and I
That's
enjoy that. You know, I miss that. Like the first week I was there, we had a little bit of engine work had to do on one of the boats, and I was like, "Hey, I'll go down and do it." And
I've done it before.
I missed it.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I missed it. One of my favorite memories is growing up. We were on the boatyard. That I was out of college, but we were on the boatyard with one of the schooners. We have 471 Detroit diesels on the boats, and if anybody knows about diesels,
A little
dirty.
they slobber.
Yeah.
And I can remember coming out of the engine room, walking up on deck, just covered, just nasty, sweaty, covered in oil and grease. And Mike Copswell was standing down on the yard down there. He had just picked his boat up. That's my daddy's cousin, and he's looking at me. He said, "Look at you." So what? I said, "Your daddy paid all that money for that college education. Look what the hell you're doing right now."
You covered in grease.
But I love it.
Yeah.
You know, and what was funny when I got the job, I called my brothers and told them, and my older brother said, "Well, guess, maybe you can finally use your degrees." So this will be the first time I've ever actually used them. So
well, that's good, man. I think you were born for the job.
I feel like I am, and I really do feel like I'm home.
That means
it's
a lot.
come full circle, and I'm coming home.
Yeah. So, you got some?
No, I was just going to ask you about, y'all have a bunch of outreach. You mentioned outreach. You have the summer camps.
The summer camp, we have 7 sessions during the summer, week long. We basically take kids and we put them on the boats. We take them to the islands. We take them fishing. We go throw the cast nets. I always tell people everything your daddy does with you when you're a kid. But what's sad is you realize when you're doing this,
a lot of them don't.
Not everybody's daddies do that. Like you talk to some of these kids, like Elizabeth, the outreach coordinator, was saying the other day, she was talking to one of the little boys. So, like, have you ever been to the island before? And he's like, man, this is the first time I've ever been on a boat.
Yeah.
And it's,
you'd be surprised how many people don't even know the islands out there even exist.
Right. And that's what we're here for.
Right.
We want to be able to introduce, and hopefully we get those kids interested enough, they become a deckhand. And eventually maybe they'll become a captain, and maybe they could be taking my job in 20 years. You never know.
Are y'all funneling field trips through there?
We do. We reach out to schools because I believe it's 4th grade is Mississippi history.
Okay.
I believe. So we're working on that right now. So I'm actually talking with a couple of teachers at D'Iberville right now about getting some groups.
I feel like it was 9th grade for us.
Oh, no.
That was Mississippi government.
Your wife's the principal.
Okay, that's right.
That's her. She's the principal.
Okay.
So we did some work when I used to run a shop at D'Iberville before they shut it down. We did the little boat.
Yes.
Yeah. And everybody who sent their kid has one of those in their house, and they're never going to throw it away because their kids made it. Well,
look, there's a bunch sitting around the museum. The kids will like, hey, you can keep this and put that. Like you walk through the museum and we'll have some sitting out everywhere. They're great. That's awesome. We take little pieces of lumber. Well, your kids have gone. So
yeah, I got one in the house right now.
I got 3 of them, 2 of them.
And that's
3.
That's one of the things. Like our outreach coordinator, like every year she tries to come up with a new design for what are we going to do this summer? Like she wants to try something different, so the kids are doing something they haven't done before. So.
Dude, that was assembly line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, because I as a deckhand, I used to cut those out, so I appreciate everybody that's going to cut them things out.
Them boys and girls is working in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that church bring that child labor back.
That's right.
Yeah.
You start younger, about 8.
What? So to wrap things up, bring it around. What's your plan? Like it sounds like it's a pretty well-oiled machine down there. Again, from what I've seen online, it looks great. I love the incorporation of new stuff. But what's your vision to take it into the next?
There's a lot. I want to get a lot more of, like I said, the school groups.
Okay.
Get out there, and not only them coming to us going to them. Like at one time we had this, we call it like the treasure chest. It looked like a big pirate chest, but we could take that to a school and do a whole presentation to a class. Everything we needed, or we could actually even bring it to the teachers and they could do it. Everything they needed.
So it would have like artifacts and stuff like that.
A Mississippi history lesson right there.
Cool. That's
looking at doing that kind of stuff again. The oral history project I'd like to do.
That's killer.
Because those guys are they're dropping, man.
Oh
And,
yeah.
you know, it's sad.
Yeah.
You know? And even guys in our generation that have carried on a little bit of that, we're starting to drop.
Yeah.
You know, and
They
then
ain't spring chickens no more.
no,
Right.
and we're kind of that last generation really doing a lot of that stuff. But
Mhm.
I'm hoping we can get enough people interested where it's not. Get some more people for that next year.
We like Joey mentioned, we had Alvin Baker on the show.
Yeah.
Mr. Jerry Monroe was kind of funneling us some guests like
Awesome.
that,
Yeah.
and we need to get back to that.
Awesome
we really
content.
do.
Yeah.
If any of our content that we have, if you ever needed any of it, audio, video, whatever of those
Awesome.
particular interviews,
That'd be
sure, let
great.
us know.
Yes.
And if you ever got any people that you know of that you'd like to run through the studio here,
Absolutely.
we'd love to have them because
Absolutely.
we love hearing those stories and we'd like to document them too.
Right.
That's the kicker.
One of the things too, I'd like to start. I don't know if this is even feasible. I need to talk to some of the shrimpers. I would like to. You know, you have a farmer's market.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do a seafood market.
Not a bad idea.
One day a month, one day a week, whatever. Talk to the guys. Figure out. We have a pier. They could pull straight up to the pier. People always ask, "Where can I go buy shrimp?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Behind
100%.
Hard Rock's pretty much.
You get on
Right.
Facebook. It's every weekend.
Right.
Where can I find fresh shrimp?
Yeah.
Have a couple of days a month where these guys can pull up at our pier and people walk down. You can buy fresh shrimp right off the boat, right there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, I just keep those guys, keep money in their pockets.
God knows
help
God
everybody
needs it.
else.
They need it right
Right.
now.
Struggling
Right.
enough. So yeah,
So
I like that. That's a great idea. Any type of social media stuff that y'all do? Like obviously I dropped the Facebook page already, but are y'all putting out content that way?
we are, and I'm looking at kind of upping that as well.
Okay.
I would really like to get us more out there as an event space.
Okay.
The museum and the pier itself. We have a beautiful pier complex that we can have. Same thing. We can host weddings,
Mhm.
parties, dinners, whatever, presentations.
Yeah.
You know,
y'all do a
everything.
fishing tournament out there too, don't you?
I'm talking to a couple of guys about bringing that back.
Yeah.
So, looking at doing working with some of the oyster reef, some of the oyster farmers about maybe doing a wine tasting and an oyster shucking.
Oh,
That'd
what
be
a great
cool.
idea.
Do it right
Why
there
didn't
on
we
the
think of
pier,
that?
and then you hop on the boat and you go. So,
Yeah.
go take a little trip and kind of mix it all together.
That's awesome.
Working on
That is-
things like that.
That is
So,
awesome. Yeah, that's some good ideas.
and then volunteers. I would love to get a lot more volunteers involved with the museum.
Mhm.
Just like we was talking about these fishermen and stuff. Like our volunteer base, we have a very dedicated volunteer base, but they're aging as well.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to pull in the next generation of guys.
Well, explain that process. What does that entail?
Anything and everything. We have volunteers that come down for every event we have, and they are tried and true. They serve on the board. They're there for everything. We have other guys just look, when I can make it, I can make
Right.
it, just come help cut out boats, come help move a boat for, that was somebody donated and bring it in. Just
Mhm.
go help donate, volunteer on the schooners,
Yeah.
go out as a deckhand, just all that kind of stuff.
And that's probably just on the email list, right? Y'all just
Yep.
blast it out there.
And I'm going to work on boosting our membership as well. We're going to have a membership drive, membership meeting coming up, I believe sometime in November. I'm going to be blasting that out. We're working on getting better at the social media.
Okay,
So-
well, you can describe what that is.
Yeah. Tell us about the membership.
You can become a member of the museum. Again, on our website, we have all the pricing for it.
Okay.
Because guys on
Yeah, yeah.
still
No,
fairly new.
no,
I can't remember the
It's only
pricing
your third
on it
week
yet.
on the job.
Yeah,
That's
man. We gotta
right.
Give you
So,
a break.
But you're only as strong as your people. So
Right,
and
right.
the more people we can get involved, the better.
Yeah.
So
Did we talk? Is there a charge to get in there? Is there anything?
there's a fee to get in the museum. And then the schooners, we have walk-on sales every now and then. I believe it is $30 a person. 2.5 hour sale. You can bring whatever wine and drink, beer,
Right.
food, whatever you want to bring.
Mhm.
The museum, I'd have to look at the pricing.
Yeah,
we got
that's
it. Yeah,
okay.
right.
I got you on the membership
got you
stuff right
right.
here.
There you go.
So let's do this. So
You can do a family, you can do a single, you can do,
you got individual membership, which is $50, and that's valid for 1 year. It said it gets you unlimited free admission, 2 guest passes. That's a one-time use pass, quarterly email newsletter, discounts at the museum store, early bird holiday shopping stuff, and free access tickets to y'all's events. So that's cool. There's a family membership for $100 and a corporate membership for $500. I'm gonna try to.
and then we have a lifetime for, I believe it's 1,000.
So let's see if I had to scroll down here and see.
That's the big one. You got to
Uh-oh.
scroll down and see that one.
Yeah, let me see. I don't.
There it is, right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
You're right. So lifetime is $1,000. There's a patron membership, $250, and a senior membership for $25. So there's some options out there, and you can go to the website. I'll link that in the comments and check it out and read all of like what you get for all that. But it sounds pretty cool. Man.
Yep, it's great.
Yeah. Absolutely. So all I can say is keep us in the loop. Anything you got going on.
Absolutely.
I think we can feed off each other for sure.
Absolutely.
Every event, we'll mention it off at the podcast. We'll tag it. We'll do whatever.
Yeah. Biggest thing right now we have coming up is our drawdown, September 20th. Tickets are on sale now. Our silent auction is actually live on our website right now. You can there's some pretty cool stuff in there that you can go in there and bid on.
Okay.
Tickets are $100 per 2 people. Open bar, seafood buffet.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time.
That's going to be a party. Yeah.
Anybody who wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way? Social media, email, phone?
All of the above.
Okay.
You can reach out to us. Our phone number at the museum is 228-435-6320. You can email me at brandon@maritimemuseum.org or right there on our website, maritimemuseum.org.
There you go. There you go.
There it
Man.
is.
Dude, we appreciate
Simple. It's killer
it. Huge
show.
fans of what you're doing. I'm going to
yeah.
get my behind down there.
Come
and,
on, look.
come check out your
Private
stuff.
tour. I'll give you. I'll take care.
We want
of
the
y'all,
VIP.
Yeah,
tour.
Come on.
Yeah. And we need to film it too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to get some of y'all stuff in the gift shop as well to sell.
That'd be great. That would be great. Thank you for your time this evening. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank y'all for having me.
Again,
Appreciate it.
like I said, keep us in the loop. And man, y'all go check it out. It's just it's very important. It's the whole reason we started.
And you're going to learn something because you don't know everything.
Yes.
You think you lived out here your whole life and you don't know everything.
That's
Go
right.
check it out.
Some stuff.
Yeah.
There are stories you're like every day. You go, I didn't know that.
That's right.
It's great.
That's right. Well, thank you again for stopping by. Thanks everybody that watched on the live and the replay. Please download the Brownwater Banter app if you haven't done it already. It's free on the App Store and Google Play. All of our content is in there. You can stay up to date with all the shows, the podcasts, the videos on YouTube. It's all right in there. You don't have to fight the algorithm to see it. So there's also a radio station, country music radio station.
Yeah, and we got a fishing tournament coming up in October, so get ready. Put your ears on.
That's right. Sheepshead Showdown. We're going to be pumping out a lot more information out about that in the next couple days.
That's right.
So, man, yeah.